Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Randall Stroud, and I'm going to make a video here about U.S. Army recruitment and how we can improve recruitment and we can improve retainment as well. So let's get into this. Now, all these opinions are mine and mine alone. They do not reflect the DoD or the U.S. Army or anything of that nature. So I just want to get that out of the way. This is totally my opinion. All right. Now, I love serving in the military. My grandfather was in the military. My great-grandfather was in the military. It's kind of a bit of a tradition, and that weighed into me joining the Army over some of the other branches. But I think what can improve overall recruitment, first I'll talk about specifically in the military and then specifically in the Army. But I think that specifically for the military and the Army, I think that indoctrination methods could be better. Because I think that a lot of people join the military and there's a big push on benefits. And the benefits in the military are pretty good. You know, you get free or low-cost health care depending on different circumstances, but next to nothing cost out of pocket for health care, which is amazing. If you have children and a wife, you know, you get BAH allowances, you know, extra money, housing, you know, there's travel opportunities that you can get in the military. You can get stationed in some really cool places, but you can also get stationed in some places that are not so fun either. So there's a caveat there. But and then, of course, education benefits. You know, a lot of people join the military so they can have a chance to go to college and not be indebted to, you know, these student loans. And all of those reasons are really good, but they're also slightly selfish because you're thinking about me, you know, what am I going to get out of this? And it reminds me of what JFK said, which was, ask yourself not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I also think about the Constitution. You know, whenever I took my oath to join the military, I had to raise my right hand and swear an oath to the Constitution. And the Constitution is enshrined with a Bill of Rights, and it contains articles within that Constitution that help govern and set limits on the powers of government. And it was very revolutionary at the time because after we created our Constitution, many other countries around the world emulated that Constitution. Now, is the Constitution perfect? You know, no. It had to be amended, 27 times. And it may be amended again in the future to improve it, but the concept of the Constitution to put limits upon the government and to enshrine the rights of its citizens was a revolutionary thing, and it was groundbreaking and beautiful. And I think that the Constitution in and of itself is a document worthy of praise, and it's worthy of being defended. And those principles that helped make America a crowning achievement and a place where people, still want to move to this day. Not saying that America is perfect. No country is perfect. But compared to the vast majority of countries in the world, many people want to move here. I mean, we have free enterprise. Like I said, we have a Bill of Rights. And my grandfather, he served in the Korean War. My great-grandfather served in World War II. And I believe that their legacy and the principles of the Constitution and the national security of this country in which my friends and family live in all deserve protection. And that's something that I take pride in. And I think that the military in general would benefit greatly in letting these new recruits know just how important they are and their jobs are in the military. I don't care if you're a cook or you're an infantryman. Every job in the military is important to make the whole machine run smoothly. Everybody's job is supporting the next person around them. regardless of what regiment or branch that you're in. Now, a lot of people are wanting to go into the Air Force because they have, better living accommodations, and they have, higher funds, if you will, better eating facilities. It's more cush. But I have found that in the Army, certain amenities could definitely be improved upon and made more attractive and comfortable, but it's the culture of the Army that is the good selling point. I mean, we wake up in the morning and we do PT, we ruck, we fire our weapons, and in the Air Force, you don't really get that. You only shoot like six rounds during the entire, basic military training course that they have. So it just depends on what you want to get out of it. But whether you're Air Force or Army, Marines, Coast Guard, put all the benefits to the side, all the the living standards, whether they could be higher or stay the same, whatever you think about it. I think that the military in general, and not just the military, I don't want to put this whole burden just on the military, but just our parents, our teachers, our politicians, everybody, including myself, which I try to be an advocate for. We all need to be better advocates of what it means to be an American. And to me, what it means to be an American is to be proud of the Constitution and to believe in the principles of free enterprise and free expression, coupled with a sense of duty, morality, and responsibility. And this is where it comes back on us as individuals, is you can't talk about freedom and free enterprise and having fun and being able to do all these things without also having the morality and the responsibility that goes behind it. Because a society can only be as successful and can only have the integrity it needs to be successful if the individuals themselves carry a sense of duty and a certain level of patriotism and a certain level of responsibility. But I feel that in this current culture, I noticed this because I'm an older recruit. I'm in my 30s, and I noticed that with a lot of these younger soldiers, some of them do have a little bit of a sense of entitlement, where they're like, hey, what's in it for me? And when I talk to the baby boomers and some of the older generations, they definitely have the pull yourself up by the bootstraps mentality and take pride in your surroundings. And now I'm not saying that there's not room for improvement and that you can't complain to superiors to try to advocate for change. I'm not saying you can't do that, and there is a time and a place for that. If you see improvements, definitely try to speak your mind and speak up, especially when there's injustices that are happening. But at the same time, if your surroundings are dirty, you can complain to a janitor and say, hey, come clean this up, or you could do it yourself. If your room is kind of drab and ugly, decorate it. If you look in the mirror and you notice that you're out of shape, you don't necessarily have to hire a personal trainer. You can put on your running shoes and just go. Make the best out of the situation and take some pride in yourself and take some pride in your surroundings. So I think that while benefits are a good selling point, and if Congress wants to pass some law and pay us military members higher salaries, I'm definitely not going to complain. But at the same time, I just want to let all of you know that the United States of America, for all of its problems and for all of its different avenues of society that need to be improved, or different areas that I could criticize, I could equally say that I still believe in this nation, I still believe in this country, and I still believe in the principles of the Constitution, and that's worth fighting for. So I think that not just the military, not just the U.S. Army or the Air Force or the Marines, but just our parents, our teachers, our politicians, and just each other, we need to remind ourselves of what it means to be an American and be proud of that legacy and tradition, and we have to keep it going. And it's not, not everything's about money and benefits, but about your honor and pride in what you do. And this is a messy job sometimes, and somebody has to do it. So if you do join the military, give it all you got. Give it all you got. Try to improve your fitness, your education. Look out for the person to the right and left of you, and take pride in this uniform, and it'll take pride in you. And that principle even goes beyond the military, even at your job, right? You're a cashier at McDonald's, and you're like, oh man, I'm not getting paid enough. It sucks working fast food. But if that's your only option, or if that's where you're working, you know what? Be the best cashier that McDonald's has ever seen. And you know what? One day you might be in a position to advocate for some change. You might become a regional manager. Who knows? And you could make conditions better for those around you. But it takes a leader. It takes someone who's willing to stand up and take pride in where they're at. Because even if you're in a crappy situation, and I've definitely been in some crappy situations in my life, your attitude about it can definitely make it worse or make it a little bit better. There's been a few times where during the course of my military training where I've had to get reprimanded by a drill sergeant because I was doing something that I didn't know necessarily was out of regulations. And while it would be somewhat irritating, I would take it as a learning opportunity. I'm like, well, now I know. And then I would see someone else, about to make the same mistake, and I would be like, hey, man, that's not in regulations. You can't wear that, or you can't do that. And it provided me with an opportunity to save someone else's skin, and that way, by holding everyone accountable, we can make everybody's experience, better. So even when bad things happen to me, I look at it as a chance to challenge myself and level up and try to be that much better. So to conclude this video, I would say, if you're thinking about joining the military, if you're someone that likes to make things better, if you're a leader, if you're proud to be an American, if you care about national security, if you care about protecting your loved ones, if you care about, family honor and pride, just go to Google and type in Army values, loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, personal courage. All these things are qualities that my father raised me with. So whenever I joined the Army and we had to memorize the Army values, I was like, wow, these are a lot of the things that my parents already taught me. So they already lined up with my personal values, and it made for an easy transition. So, military culture is definitely something that you need to kind of, research and look into before you join, because if you're just joining solely for the benefits, you're not going to have the best experience here. But if you really do love America and you care about protecting the country, then the benefits are just the icing on the cake, So just think about it. If you got any questions about joining the military, whether it's picking the right MOS, then let me know, and I'll be proud to answer your questions.